was a Sunday after the normal greenbelt class. I stayed after a little bit with you and I sent by Gallegos, and if you remember Simon, to go over
Try not to remember
to go over some just greenbelt fighting, because I just took my greenbelt exam and I was so excited to start fighting. So I stayed after class so that you could teach me some techniques. So if you remember Simon, he was huge. So when he fought, he always came in like a truck all the time. He never knew how to hold back any blows, anything. But what you told me was to just tie sabak. Just tie sabak and everything will be open. So I did exactly that, and once I did, his entire back was exposed. It was almost like a canvas. I could do anything I wanted. It was just that simple technique that you told me to do that just led to so many opportunities. And I think that kind of is synonymous to what Kanzen is in my life. So this opportunity that you've given me to train under karate has just opened me up to so many opportunities in the world.
Thank you very much.
Very nice.
The question I have for you, Michael, is you still know how to do a tai sabak?
Okay.
Well, when I was thinking of teaching, I was thinking of the qualities of a teacher. And just to put in just a couple of words, it's that you have the rare combination of being the skilled practitioner of the art and an excellent instructor who clearly loves the subject. And it's this combination of skills that results in being an inspiration to the serious students of the style. And if not for you, I would be a couch potato.
I got to add to that for a second. You got to understand that there are practitioners in the world and there are teachers. You very rarely get the combination of the two. This is the combination of the two with the brilliance of the knowledge of karate. So what you said is unbelievable, because I say this all the time. And there are people that can practice and they can do karate, they can do tennis, and they can do basketball. And then there are coaches. When you get the combination, we get Zoku. Great speech.
Before we get to the Daisenpeis, I want to keep it in rank order, if you will, so you might want to grab yours while I'm doing this, because who knows where it's hidden. But I got 2 messages here from my boys in college. They wanted to come tonight, but one had a test, and one said he was studying for a test tomorrow, which I have yet to believe. So the first one I'll read is from Jared Shinewall. Ush Zoku, congratulations on teaching karate for the past 50 years. That is an incredible achievement, and it has been an honor to be in your class the past 8 to 9 years. Kanzen has had a huge impact on all of our lives, and that would not be possible without you. I would personally like to thank you for not strangling Justin and I during your classes many years ago. We are all so grateful for everything you have done for Kanzen Goju-Ryu. I hope you have many more years to come of teaching. Congratulations again. Ush, Jared. And then one from Justin. Ush Zoku, congratulations on 50 years of teaching. I remember my dad always telling me when I was little and just a beginner at karate, how lucky he was to have you as an instructor. When he decided to teach us, my dad was so happy that Jared and I were able to learn from you like he did. I can truly say that everything my dad said was true. Since you became my instructor, my knowledge of karate, my skill level, and my outlook on life has grown exponentially, and I know your teaching is to credit. Thank you so much, Zoku, for having such an impact on your students over the past 50 years, and for putting so much care and pride into the Kanzen organization. Next is going to be you two.
Somebody help me.
I made it by myself.
I'm so proud of you.
What is there to say? 50 years, a lifetime of devotion and passion for the art we all love. Only a few people are lucky enough to be able to practice, teach, in general devote most of their lives to their passion. Zoku, you are one of the few. We are the lucky beneficiaries. Personally, I thank you for the very positive impact on my life and the lives of my son Michael and that of my grandson Michael. 3 generations, what else is there to say? we are all the better for having known you. I salute you, Zoku.
Yes.
So Kuchu, it was the winter of 1981, and I had just moved from New York to New Jersey. I and several of my friends, you referred to them, you may remember, as the Smith brothers, were looking for a karate school. Whether it was karma, fate, or just great luck, I was brought to 3 West Main Street in Freehold. As I walked up that immense staircase, I had no way of knowing that I was about to meet one of America's greatest martial arts masters. And those aren't my words, those are the words from the authors of the book, The Golden Age of Martial Arts. And you truly are, in every respect. Zoku, a man is fortunate to have one person in his life who is a positive influence, a role model for what was, for us to aspire to. I was blessed to have 2 such men. My father taught me how to be a gentleman, a good husband, and a faithful father. You, Zoku, taught me discipline, dedication, the value of tradition, and above all else, loyalty, and a heck of a lot of karate. Wherever I've gone, whatever I've done, the lessons you have taught me have been my guide. I'm so fortunate to have had you as my teacher and my friend. Thank you.
Yes.
Reggie Abrams?
I'm going to take a little bit different approach. I'm going to tell you a little story about me.
Louder.
And the first time that I almost met Zoku was years ago. We were in Nisei Goju, and I went there. I was under the teachings of Ronald Van Cleef, and we went to the dojo, and Hanji Magurito came over to me. I was with Tony Catapano, and said, "Listen, could you take Sensei home? Because you live in Brooklyn, he doesn't drive." And I said, I can't. I'm supposed to pick up my girlfriend's dog. She was going on vacation, and I had to go to Queens to pick up this poodle. So sorry, man, I'm a green belt, and all these black belts are around, and we were special. We had to drive Van Cleef to the dojo. He was teaching in Brooklyn with us. So I didn't think anything of it. The next thing I know, 5 minutes later, some guy has me by the throat against the wall. And he says, "You refuse to take Sensei home?" I said, what? And the guy was, I swear to God, I thought the guy was going to kill me. If it wasn't for Van Cleef grabbing the guy, because I was a student, and pushing him away. And then Sensei Van Cleef explained to me what I did, that I disrespected in a way, because he doesn't ask anybody to take him home, he asked me to take him home. Long story short, I went back. No way was Zoku going to go home with me after I refused to take him. So I left. I went to Queens, and there were like 90 people to take him home. So I haven't seen him since then. We closed our school. First thing I do, go to another dojo, and there's Zoku. And we're sitting, I'll never forget this, we're just first class. We joined their class, they had a lot of students, and he's introducing everybody. Tony, the other guy, and he goes, "Oh, Abrams, yeah, the one that didn't take me home that time." the first time I met him. Now, this is a true story, and you'll know about it. We had like 5 classes. We went 5, 6, Saturday we had classes, so you can go 6 times a week, and let me tell you something, a lot of us did a lot of that. Well, Wednesday though, was kata night. You never miss kata night, okay? My wife, as a matter of fact, I told her I couldn't go anywhere with her on Wednesday, so Wednesday she chose to go to her mother. Her mother lived in Queens. So I would go to the dojo, which was a half block away from my house. I moved there when I got married, half a block from the dojo. And Tony and I were very, very good friends. And somebody came to us and said, we have a football game with the neighbor guys. You gotta come, we need you. So we said, we'll skip Wednesday, which we never did. I think I was a brown belt, Tony was a black belt at the time. Well, long story short, I come home, it's about 10:30 at night, I walk in the door, and there's my wife, and she has a cast on her hand. And I'm saying, what happened? And all of a sudden, I hear noises out in the living room. And up comes Zoku was you. And Hanchi Di Ramondo, and they walk by, 10:30, and Zoku goes, see you in the dojo. And they walk out. What happened was my wife got in an accident in Queens and called the dojo to get me to pick her up. Now, where am I? I'm not in the dojo. True story. And Zoku doesn't like to drive. Zoku and Hanchi Di Ramondo went to Queens, left their class, left the car to pick up my wife and bring her home. My wife never forgot it, and I never forgot it.
You wouldn't drive him home?
And I forgot it. Well, that was some years later.
Behind closed doors. We hid in the kitchen behind closed doors.
I didn't know they were there.
Hysterical laughing. We're behind closed doors laughing and saying, and we beat the hell out of Sid for about 2 weeks.
2 weeks. It's not like a month, 2 months.
We beat the hell out of him. He came every night and we just beat him up every single night. Using the dojo as an excuse that he wasn't there.
By the way, he hasn't stopped doing dishes since. That's how the story ended.
One more story. We used to go to a lot of tournaments, okay? And we used to go in a group. At this point, I don't know whether we were Kanzen or we were probably Nisei still, I guess, at that time. And we used to go to all these tournaments. And one day I'm walking in with Hanchi Magnavito, myself, and a bunch of others, and Zoku was in front of us. I'm going to say something, so excuse me. And some guy, they used to have tables, long tables, and we used to sign up all the things. This guy sitting where Zoku said, and we're in front of the table. And as we're going by, this guy says, oh, Harry! Hi, Harry! And we were all like, shut it, you know? He must have known and whatever. And he said what he had to say, and he left. And Yoshi Magnavito, with sight, Yoshi Magnavito puts his hand on me. Stay. Alright, Zoku walks away. Yoshi Magnavito goes to the table and grabs this guy by the collar and grabs him and goes, Harry! Harry, what are you, bold with him? Put the guy down. You don't call him Harry, you know? But that showed me another point where total respect of who this person is.
That black belt was a 4th degree, and Hanchi Magnavito was a 2nd degree.
Second, neither.
And he didn't just throw him, he picked him up and choked him. And held him here and was choking him above the ground. I said, oh my God, we're going to end up in a fight. Because I was standing there, and then he put him down. And the guy bowed and apologized, and then went over to Zoku and apologized afterwards.
Impression never leaves. You know I love you. You know, in a family, everybody has, in a family, there's always one that gives a little service.
The crazy
And that's me.
That's you.
That's me. I have to admit it, but my love for the man and the belief of how great he is and talented and no better teacher ever. Anyway.
Before we get to Kiyoshi and Hanchi, there's a few people that sort of sent me their notes. First is Renshi Debbie Thomas from down in DC. She wishes she could be here, but she actually runs a daycare with like 15 screaming kids in her garage. It's insane. The first time I met Zoku, Shihan, you know, because that's what he was affectionately called for so many years, back at the age of 19, he embraced me and has been solid in his acceptance of me to this day. Changed my life and focused me to know that someone believed in me at first sight. Made me a better person. I wasn't very nice back then. Okay, exaggeration, but I was still kicking ass and taking no names. Priceless and life-changing for me at that exact moment of meeting him. My successes are his successes because they happened because of him and Kanzen. The power of letting someone know that you believe in them and accept them is absolutely unknowingly priceless. My big brother, Shion Larry Meese, has always been there also, and our brother-sister bond is for life, unbreakable. Sometimes he plucked my nerves because he calls me out, especially in my younger days. However, I wouldn't have had it any other way. He saw me. Bonded for life, Kanzen, family forever. Ush. The next one is from Shihan Larry Meese. Shihan also is down in the DC area. Great leaders are almost always great simplifiers who can cut through argument, debates, and doubt to offer a solution everyone can understand. You've never been hesitant sharing your wisdom. You've always allowed us to operate with freedom by following the rules of Kanzen. You've never been reluctant in giving us authority. You've let us make mistakes. You've believed in us, and even we have been in doubt. You've shown the world what great leadership is about. Thank you, Zoku, for teaching and directions for over 38 years. You are one of the very special people who always gives a lot and asks for little, who makes this world a better place just by the way you live and what is in your heart. It has been an honor to be molded under your tutorage by leading the Maryland Kanzen, always following the Kanzen way as a unit of one. I believe you stated in the essence of Kanzen Goju Karate, we salute you on your 50th year of anniversary of teaching and giving. Please extend our deepest appreciation to Mrs. Zokucho and family for sharing. Ush Shihan Mis. I have one more, and then Hanchimang Review asked me to go last for whatever that's worth. This is from, okay, Kyoshi, it's up to you.
Well, Shion sent an email on speeches. I ain't doing one. If you came to the Kanzen party, I thought I did a damn good speech.
Yes.
I shot my load. I'm done. I'm one and done. That was it. I really didn't plan on saying anything. But then honestly, seeing Hanshi, I would like to say one thing. I've only had two teachers. Many people in here, especially in the 80s, Richie Lowe, Richie Cohen, Richie Foster, and some of the teachers. I've only had two that I've ever really taken a class from, and that was Zoku and Hanchimang Vito. That was just due to geography. Every once in a while I was fortunate enough to take a class by Hanchimang Vito, but it was very sparse. So I've only had two teachers. Tonight is supposed to be about an anniversary of teaching, and there's an element that, again, I didn't plan on saying anything, but now I just feel that I should, that from Zoku teaching, the amount of relationships and bonds that we've all made, that if you didn't teach, if you had just been a practitioner, and not extended it to everybody else, I know for myself, I'd be a much less of a human being. I was raised with two uncles in my life, Hanshi Armando and Hanshi Margarito. And if Zoku was never a teacher, I would never be introduced to these men. So the teaching goes beyond the kata, the kihon, teaching us discipline and honor, just some of the relationships. Again, didn't plan on it, but it's so good to see him, and we don't see each other often. And that's the first thing that came to my mind. If he wasn't a teacher, I would have known him. And Hanshi Margarito and Armando, like I said, they're uncles to me. So that's very important, and I have dojo brothers, and you guys are young, probably hate each other now, but one day we look at each other as dojo brothers. That's very important. I want to thank you for that.
So I started at 16. At 17, I felt I was missing a big part of karate, so I asked Sensei Frank Ruiz, who was my first instructor, and he said, Goju, something's wrong, and I think I have to learn kata because I've hit this plateau. And he says, you have to go to my brother. My brother's in Brooklyn. So I went to the Brooklyn dojo. It was at Dick Andrews' studio at the time. I was 17. And it was 1969. So I was a year or so in. And I was the new meat on the block. Everybody wanted to beat me up. Got a piece of me for the first month or two. But I found something that was just so different and so amazing because as I said, Zoku is not only a practitioner and was a practitioner, is an unbelievable teacher. And he did things that we were amazed by. And there were 5 of us at the time that trained all the time. Hanshi Mangravito and Hanshi Graham, Renchi Sullivan, Renchi Fair, and myself. And at one point we said, we got to start writing this stuff down. And some of the things Zoku didn't even know he was doing, and we wrote them down, and we were amazed. You know, that's where the manuals came from, and the Kumite theory was. He was doing it and teaching it to us, and we said we got to have this in written form. Nobody, no style in the world has what we have. It really doesn't. He was able to take all of the learnings in all the years and put it into such an art form. In my opinion, truly genius. I was blessed because I was in the early days of those teachings, and in Kanzen when we left Nisei Goju and we had no patch for a couple of years. Some of the photos I was showing Zoku at dinner tonight, we were patchless, and I remember those days. But we had him, and we had him to ourselves. And thank you, Mrs. Zoku, for sharing him with us. We had him to ourselves. We were sort of selfish, and it was a great thing. It was just a great thing. It really was. We tapped everything. We asked millions of questions, and we were writing stuff down. It was just fantastic. He's also a father image, I'm sure, to all of us here. And he's been my father image for, I've been with him now for 48 years. Long time, most of my life. I'm good at what I do in life. I'm an attorney. I'm really, really good at my practice, and I'm good at it because of him. So, we were talking about it tonight. You gotta work hard. No matter what you do, if you work hard at karate, you'll be successful in life, and that's what he always used to tell us. Work hard, it will come, it will fall into place. If you work hard at something, you will become successful at it. I'm successful at law, and I tell him every year, I tell him this, I'm successful, and I feel I have no competitors because of karate and because of his teachings. It's so true. And I have no fear in the law. How could I fear anything after facing Hanchi Magravito's reverse punch and Hanchi Graham's front kicks and side kicks and Renchi Fair's reverse punches and Shihan Rosenstein's kicks and punches? There's no fear. When you go into life, if you can be successful here, you can be successful in anything you do. And that's what he's given us. And I thank you.
Before I read Hanchi Mangravito's, there was a point that Hanchi Nirmanda made, which I have to tell you is such a powerful point. One of the things that he said this many times when I was a kid, was that when he's in the law, when he's in a courtroom, and he is a fantastic immigration attorney, when he's in there, he views it as a comedic match, right? He's sizing up his opponent, he's finding their weakness, he's creating openings, all the things that we learn in comedic. And I'll never forget this because I'm in sales, nothing to do with the law, I'm not nearly bright enough to go to law school, but I'm in sales, and I view, when I'm in a presentation, the same concept, and I start to think that, as Hanchi put it very eloquently, anything you do, if you have the right mindset through karate, you can apply it to that field. So no matter what each one of you does in your life, if you view it as I have to work hard at this, I have to find the openings, I have to be better than my competition, I have to do what I need to do to win, whatever it is, you will apply karate for life. So that is just one of the greatest lessons that I remember learning from Hanchi Nirmanda. This message from Hanchi Mangravito, I actually teared up when I read this the first time, but I'm gonna read it anyway. Hanchi Mangravito, for those that aren't fortunate enough to know him, he's one of those folks that he's larger than life is the only way I can think about it. The stories of his life almost sound like fake, because that's how unbelievable they were. So one of the stories that really stands out was he was disabled as a firefighter. He was down in Florida, and 9/11 happened. And what did he do? He wasn't even a firefighter at this point. He got on his motorcycle, he drove 23 hours all the way to New York, and he worked for 3 weeks, dealing with the rubbish, dealing with the smoke, the inhalation, throughout the next 3 weeks after 9/11. And unfortunately, he paid the price for it. The man is living with one lung. He was just down in the center of the hurricane, did not have power, it just came on yesterday. So he had no apparatus to help his breathing. And by the way, I think I talked about the story about when he got mugged about a month ago and he beat the hell out of the, so he's still dangerous, but the man is just unbelievable. And as well as these other instructors, he's had a tremendous impact on many of our lives. So here's his note. Zoku, I want to thank you for 50 years of putting up with all of my crazy shenanigans, to put it mildly. You have been my father, my mentor, my therapist, my shoulder to cry on, and my backbone. But most of all, my savior. From the first day I walked into the dojo, you never gave up on me, even though I was a punk off the streets with no future but death or jail. You and Brother Michael got me through the hardest times of my life. You are absolutely the reason I am where I am today. Thank you just isn't enough. I wish every father could be as loved as I love you. Your son, Bongo. Now, Zoku, we are going to close this out with we're going to close it out with two things. We're going to close it out with a cake, because I obviously love food. But we're also going to close it out with a gift. And when we... Oh, all right, it's okay. I'll mention that later. Thank you for reminding me. Reggie Goulart sent in a note as well. He's at the UN right now. But we got a gift for you, and all of us were thinking of what can we get Zoku. Well, ironically, before you asked everybody for pictures, we were already planning to put something together for me. Do you mind giving me that? So Zoku, we actually, everybody chipped in terms of the pictures. Everybody made an effort. You have been asking everybody for pictures, but the reason you haven't gotten them is because I've been hoarding them. So, and we were trying to push you off as much as we can, but we couldn't be any excited to show you what this is and for you to have this gift. This is from all of us as a slight token of our appreciation. If you don't, what's that? I would like you to open it up.
You know, it's really apropos that you're doing this tonight, because I'm going to announce my retirement. I'm just checking out official.
Oh.
Kidding.
That's funny now.
Funny now. For a second I had you, right, Jack? Cool. Very cool.
Very cool. These are pictures you've been asking for.
And Zoku, I left this in case you wanted people to sign the first few pages.
Wow.
We try to get it in chronological order the best we can. You'll see. It's,
Look at that. You must have got Yoshi gave you a whole bunch of
gosh. Everybody. It's in chronological order, starting all the way from current, going back 50 years.
A lot of cool photos.
Look at this. Beautiful.
I haven't seen the hardcover yet. This is great. And you did a great job collating this and putting this together.
Wow.
He spent hundreds of hours putting this all together. We funneled all the photos to him.
Wow.
And very nice.
Right up to the last day of the last picture. It's alright, I left this open in case you want people to sign for you. Whatever, that's what.
Oh.
Oh, is that you, Archie?
Yeah, that's it.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah,
I saw that. I was like, what?
Falling down.
Everyone get a chance. I mean,
I'm
this
not worried about this.
I gotta blow that up for you.
Wow.
He asked me for that photo tonight.
Wow.
Yeah.
This is really spectacular. Wow. I'm still saying, oh, wow, I can't believe you did this. Must have taken you a long, long time. Huh?
How many photos did you go through?
I went through 2,000 photos, and it's 200 pages times about 2. It's about 400 something photos.
Most of them are Donnie though.
Actually, that's not accurate.
I'm kidding. Donnie's in 200.
Remember that surprise party that was from that?
Oh, yeah.
That's cute.
Oh, my goodness. Wow, well, I'm taking up a lot of time by looking at this.
No, it's ugly. I think you're really gonna enjoy this when you see this.
Wow, it's funny, I'm at the time now, it's after 57 years in karate, to, first of all, super duper, thank you, just recently I said, let's get everything together under one roof. You know, because we're gonna lose track of all this stuff. We've got to have pictures that basically chronicles the existence of Kanzen from the beginning all the way to where we are now. So I'm saying to myself, this is fucking thing. No one's sending me any pictures. I really said. And I was Hanshi tonight. He showed me something. I said, could you make a copy of this for me? Make a copy of this for me? And then Benjamin showed me something. Make a copy of this. And I'm saying to myself, it's amazing how anytime I ask some guys to do something, they never do it. I really said that to myself. I said, this is like, where is that book? That is fabulous. That is a...
It's also something that can be purchased by all of us. I purchased the book online. We can all purchase that by going online. And you can actually change. In fact, Stephen Rosenstein was online for like 4 hours the other day changing the book. I couldn't order it during the 4 hours. Because it stops you from ordering it. You can't order it. So,
what was he doing?
he must have been changing the cover, I guess. I don't know what he was doing.
He was editing it a little bit?
Yeah,
Wow.
he was editing it.
So how long has this been going on?
So it's
June? Right?
Yes, we started this in June. It was, here's what happens, Zoku. Do you remember when you said to me, you know, Shinewood, I've been teaching for 50 years. Do you remember that? We were in the other place, and you made this little comment to me, and I was like, oh my God, like, how do we not do something? And I reached out to the Kyoshis and Hanshis, and, you know, they were all for it, so.
So we've been stalling, for a couple months to put all this together.
Yeah.
So, and that's why I said I'll bring the photos down to you, but I had no
It was
intent of bringing them down. It was all in the book.
really funny because I kept saying, these guys don't give a damn what I asked for. They don't think of it. So, listen, thank you all. That book is, I can't wait to go home and just take page by page and take a look at it. And you can purchase it online, anybody
Purchase
wants it.
online, there's different covers and different, you can change it to whatever you want, and there's different sizes and different prices.
Who had them to that? Yoshi did that?
No.
He said the site and everything?
Shion did it. I ordered one for Hanshi Mangravito. I'm gonna send it out to him as a birthday gift. Today's Hanshi's birthday. Hanshi Mangravito's birthday today, so.
So how much do they sell for?
On eBay or?
Yeah. It's not bad, it's only $200.
$20?
Yes.
Worth every penny. Thank God I didn't have to buy it. Listen, you know me, I always gotta try to always have to patient. $20 is a lot of money, but I tell you something, if you want to buy one of a kind, right? Obviously, it's worth it. It's a total history of the style of karate that you people are very much involved with. Some of you less when you just started, right? And I think it's worth every penny. And it's fantastic. Thank you all very much. I knew something kind of didn't make sense to me when I walked in, when I saw so many people. And for the old man to schlep in from Long Island, Abrams, this is, there's something on, and someone dug Perlman up, and all of a sudden, Mikey's here out of retirement, and saying, oh, it's kind of strange. But I had no idea. Then, we call it, Shihan will disappears for a minute, and then Shihan Walsh disappears for a minute and says, they're waiting for somebody else. Listen, let's not belabor this. I'm very fortunate to be able to have taught karate for 50 years. When I wasn't teaching, I was researching. I always had my foot in the door as far as learning more about karate and trying to instill our students to actually practice and absorb what we had to teach. But there's so much more. It's a lifetime achievement that we've got people here 50, 43 years, 50 years, are still involved in the art because once it's in your blood, you can't get rid of it. So that being said, thank you very much. And hopefully I'm able to continue forward teaching a couple more years until my wife puts her foot down. Other than that, Thank you so much.
Wait, first of all, two things. Zoku, did I read it from Hanshi Grant? Did I read Hanshi's note?
No.
Do you mind if I just read it quickly? I'm sorry. Hanshi Grant is going in for a major operation.
He wanted to be here tonight.
He went for city night.
I know all about it.
And I just realized I never read his. Here it is. Zoku, I send you my best wishes with the deepest gratitude and appreciation for all that you have done for the art of karate. You have been a guiding light for me and so many others. I thank you from the bottom of my heart for taking me under your wing and teaching me not only in the art of karate, but in life itself. God bless you and your family. Love, Tommy. Gosh. I need a volunteer to cut up the cake. No, a grown-up, Josh. Will you do that? I have knives, I have plates, I have forks, and I have napkins. Okay? All right, everybody up. Got a lot of bowing to do. A lot of bowing. Got one straight line. One straight line.
And